Every 28 seconds a Corolla gets its wings. I'm a dork, I know. So these are the two that we're just gonna check and see, like, you can see like the difference in size between these two cars. The hood is substantial. They don't have any new ones because of the microchips shortage. The rear of the car is different too.
But it's a little bit bigger and it's a little bit nicer. Can you see the inside? Honestly, this looks like it has more legroom.
I will tell you, I think it's got more headroom too. I mean, looking at just the rooftops,
They're about even.
I think the Camry's higher.
Well,
hey guys, Jessica with the channel Dolores Serenity, and today we're going to be looking at a Toyota Corolla 2022. I did a lot of research. Before our little blue car had its fiasco, I was researching a lot about cars because Blue is getting to be 12 years old and, you know, not as fresh as it used to be. Well, I was researching before we lost our blue car and I was looking at electric, I was looking at normal gas, I was looking at hybrids, and most of all, I was really looking at Toyotas for the most part, but Toyota's really behind the curve in electric vehicles. So I was looking at like Chevy Bolt EUV, I was looking and really reaching for a Tesla. We really can't afford a Tesla, but I was still looking because it's fun to look and research on things that might be cool to have. I even went as far as almost signing up to test drive a Tesla, but I figured it was a little unrealistic. So, yeah. Our little blue car got 43 miles to the gallon, and we were hoping to not go backwards. We wanted better gas mileage, not worse gas mileage, especially with gas prices blowing up. Teslas are very expensive. Could not really look at them. I thought about the Chevy EUVs that were coming out, and they are also expensive. They were like $34,000, which is better than a Tesla, but still up there. And with all the Bolt fires from the batteries, didn't want to go out and see my garage in flames or something one day. So that brought us back to Toyotas. So, there's currently a chip shortage. Cars are flying off the lots. I have been doing massive research to see what's on the lots, and I thought maybe we would be interested in a Camry, because I'm like, you know, it's a step up from the Corolla, let's check it out. We went to a dealership in Oneonta and got some serious sketch vibes from that place. It looked like it was from the 70s. It had wood paneling everywhere, wood floors, and the only things that didn't look like they were from the 70s were the salespeople. But it was a little outdated, and when we got there, it said they had 28 Prius Primes on the lot, and they had maybe 10. They didn't update their listings at all. They also said they had 2 Corollas, and they had no Corollas. And they had some Camrys. So basically they don't update their stuff, so they look like they have more stock than they actually do. They also had like, ooh, look, these are 2021 Priuses when the 2022s are out. So there's like $5,000 off these cars. And when we got there, they're like, oh, that's if you're going to lease the cars. Like, okay, that's super sketch to try to get people here. But they were nice enough to bring us into a Camry, and we drove that, and we drove the Prius Prime. And I really don't have too much footage on that, but The Prius Prime actually felt pretty comfortable. The salesperson came with us. He was in the passenger seat, and I shoved myself in the back with Gideon, I get car sick. He gets car sick. So I figured I'd feel what it felt like in the back of a Prius Prime, and it actually was a pretty smooth ride. So the Prius Prime was a pretty smooth ride, and it handled less than ideal. Tinker Toy speed for acceleration. And then we popped the hatchback trunk space, and there was what looked like less trunk than our Corolla had. And that's not really doable. I like to pack prepared when we go places, and it's always full. I don't think I would be able to pack very well in the back of a Prius Prime. So there's that. The Prius Prime has the battery pack underneath the trunk area, which is why it's shorter, the trunk area. And my husband's like, I could see us driving a Prius. I'm like, yeah, Corolla. So I'm not going backwards on trunk space. We also tried the Camry.
My size is fine.
Headroom?
It's fine. Got a couple of inches.
And I guess we were expecting more from the Camry. I was expecting a lot more. I mean, both the Prius and the Camry had decent legroom in the back, but the Camry, we didn't drive very far, maybe a quarter of a mile down the street and back to the dealership, but I felt everything back there, and I'm like, we can't get this car. It's going to kill Gideon with motion sickness. That and the price was like $27,000 to $30,000. So, yeah. So we decided Corolla Hybrid. That's the way we want to go, and we did a lot of research. Okay, so looking for a Corolla Hybrid. Fun times. I searched every Toyota dealership between Buffalo, I don't know. I searched every dealer between Buffalo, New York and Albany, New York. That's a pretty big swath of New York. And slim pickings. Most of them were in transit, and I called a few of them. First, I started with Jack Sherman before we knew if we were going to be buying a new car. And I called them and I was like, okay, I see that you have a car coming in that's a Corolla Hybrid, and I'm interested, but I don't know if we're committing yet. And they were like, I just wanted to know when it was coming in because it was in transit. So they told me, 1 or 2 weeks. And I'm like, okay, thank you, and I'll get back to you. And I knew that they had one because I checked their website. So, fast forward a week later, that Corolla is no longer on their website. It was also the color I wanted, like the Celestite gray, because it's fancier than normal gray, I guess. And it was gone. I was so disappointed. So disappointed. So I went back and pulled up every single Toyota again and checked for who had hybrids, and most of them were all in transit. So I called Toyota in Syracuse, and they had a white one and a black one still in transit, and they said it would be like another 2 weeks that there was going to be in, and if we wanted to put $500 down, we could reserve one for when it did come in. And they told me that most people have to, because they are selling before these cars are selling before they even hit the lots right now. Corolla is a very, very popular car, especially hybrids that are going to get you 50 plus miles to the gallon. I called some places by Albany. They had a silver car and 2 white cars in one of the dealerships, and they said that, oops, no, we only have a silver and a white one, and the lower priced white one sold earlier today, and somebody is driving the other one right now, test driving it, and we don't know if they're going to buy it. I ended up calling them back later, and that person did buy the white Corolla, and they only had the silver one left on the lot. I called another dealership, and this is the fun one. This one made me question everything. This Toyota dealership, I don't know if I should name names. It's by Albany. I spoke to a very nice lady, and she was very nice. She seemed very nice, but apparently she was just being a salesperson. And she said they had a blueprint Toyota, which was pretty cool because, you know, we had a blue car. Go to another blue car, and she told me, yeah, there's a market availability price on it.
Oh, it was a five.
Like, what is that? Gideon.
Hi, my name's Gideon. Just saying it. You had to
Cute. So, what is market availability, you might be asking? Apparently, it's just a price to gouge you. She told me, yeah, the price of this car is going to be $5,000 more than the MSRP. Okay. Why would you do that? I was like, we cannot afford that. Like, that's not a possibility. She's like, okay, let me talk to my manager and I'll get back to you. Well, most of the day goes by, and first off, she was trying to push that, oh, this car won't be here very long. She was trying to trigger FOMO, the fear of missing out, and I wasn't buying it. Now granted, I do feel the fear of missing out because we want one of these cars, and they are going like so fast, but not enough to spend $5,000 more that we do not have. So be careful of these people who are trying to sell with market availability. I Googled it because I'm like, what the heck is this? And there are people charging $10,000 to $20,000 over the price of these cars because they can. Everyone's desperate for these cars right now, and there's not a lot of availability. It's very much a seller's market, and they're just raking you over the coals. And that's not even going towards anything. It's just going into their own pockets. So I called back the Syracuse one, the other Albany one, and I was like, do you guys have market availability pricing? And the person, I think in Syracuse, told me, well, both of them told me no way. Like, only really shady dealers do that. And especially, like, I guess Toyota frowns upon it. And yeah, don't do it. Call around, find someone else if you can. Here's an example of what you should look for. Exhibit A is what you shouldn't do. If you have a dealer that refuses to give you a price on their website, generally means that they're going to try to screw you over some way or another. And Exhibit B is what you should look for. Somebody who's got transparent pricing straight on their website. When I called up the places that had the transparent pricing right there on the website with nothing to hide, they were the ones that didn't mark up the cars. The ones that did mark up the cars were the ones that said call for a price or etc. You know, anything that they're not telling you is generally going to be something they're trying to tack on. So we go through all this, and the closest one that has a Toyota that's in stock currently, not in transit, is the one with the silver Corolla in Albany, just 2 hours away. We really didn't want to go 2 hours away. And I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna have to. That's the only one that's available. I wish Jack Sherman still had theirs. And my husband turns to me, he's like, well, it's not on their website, but have you called them? I'm like, no, let's try that. So I called Jack Sherman back, and lo and behold, the Celestite Gray Corolla Hybrid was still there. In there. It was at their dealer showroom since Tuesday, and it was like Thursday or Friday I was calling. And I'm like, I almost lost out on the color of the car that we wanted. So Jack Sherman had the car we wanted, and we're like, okay, this is it. We're not gonna lose this, will you take the 500 down? We don't have the money in the account yet, but it's going to be clearing in the next few days. So we went through all of those hoops and we returned the plates of the old car, and now we're going to be getting a new one. And here we go. So we're still in the rental and we are heading to... Apparently the cat can shoot laser beams. Okay, Gideon, do you want to talk to the camera?
Yep. Hi. Gideon. So far we are half a trip there.
We're 2 minutes into our 55-minute trip to go to Jack Sherman to get our new car. We're gonna stop and have some fun first along the way, but with luck, we will have our car today and we will be able to return this one. We were just sitting at a stoplight and it was shuddering.
We're going to
Kids Kingdom, like a castle.
We're going to Kids Kingdom. Like a castle.
Because we tend to get a little impatient, and we have a 1 o'clock appointment to do the hour worth of paperwork so that we can bring the car home. So it is 10-12 in the morning. We figured we'd go do something fun so we could distract ourselves before we get there. Toyota in Binghamton. Hi. And we are heading inside. Like every other dealership with the chip shortage, they've got a lot of empty spaces. And this is Jack Sherman Toyota. I will say, we got here. These doors, pretty awesome. They're huge, and they probably drive a car through very easily, which is probably why they're that big. It's also nice inside. So here is our new Corolla. Celestite Gray, which is a very hard color to determine. Looks like it's got a blue sheen. Looks like it could be gunmetal metallic. Gideon's making himself at home. Is that comfy? Are those floors comfortable? Why don't you sit on the seat?
Wait, I can climb up this car.
Can you?
Yep.
We'll see. Don't do it right now.
There's a seat vest. There's a arm.
We'll see. So we go into Jack Sherman and we meet Barry and he sit down and it's just paperwork, and we do paperwork at his desk, and then he has us go upstairs and do paperwork for the finance office. And I mean, really basically we did a lot of this over the phone. My husband called them, he gave them the credit information, his financial information, and all of that good stuff. And yeah, I mean, it was mostly done over the phone, so we just had to get there and sign a bunch of paperwork. And I think the worst part is that I think that they needed to wait for like the license plates because they didn't have them right away. And the person who gave them to people wasn't there right away either, so there's some little wrench, just a little tiny wrench in the cogs. And yeah, I mean, it was just mostly fill out the paperwork and here's your car, take it, drive it away. So it's crazy how it's just crazy, because I remember last time, very, very vaguely, because it was over 10 years ago. I remember last time we had to come back for our car like a day later. But it was under an hour of work, of signing, and we got to drive away with our brand new beautiful Corolla Hybrid that we had never driven before we signed for the paperwork. No regrets. It's a great car and it's comfortable and it feels like something very, very similar to our old one, and it's great. And we are getting about 57 miles per gallon right now, so I can't complain about that either. We brought the car before there was even more chip shortages announced, and that Toyota was going to be like chopping back how many cars they're going to make. So I'm not sure how much that's going to affect the future of the market either, so wish you guys luck. I really, really do. It's rough out there right now for cars. Actually, my mother-in-law got to test drive our car when we visited her, and she liked it so much that she's actually leasing one, and right now it is September 9th. I think she did the paperwork yesterday, and she'll be getting it mid-October. So there is still a pretty big backup in the system for waiting for the cars. So as of August 26th, they said that they have sold their 50 millionth Corolla. 50 millionth. And that's take that in mind. That's every single Corolla ever made. Like the normal, the hybrid, the hatchback. Whoever knows what else they're gonna make with it too. And Toyota sells a Corolla every 28 seconds. That's what the math comes out to. Every 28 seconds a Corolla gets its wings. I'm a dork, I know. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. Hope you had fun. See you next time. Okay, so we arrived at Jack Sherman Toyota, and we go in, and our person Barry is right there, like the door, and he's there. So I'm not gonna use this part. Okay, car thing. Oh, one more thing. What else? Where's that Toyota information? Toyota is sold every Corolla is sold every 17 seconds, really? Hello. Oops. I'll pause. Go ahead. I can edit.
Thank you.
Sorry. It's alright. Hi, Bruce. I'm already on break. Do you want to come get pets? Oh. Can you resist the pettings? Come here, Bruce. You can resist today. Okay. What else? Is it every 17 seconds? How often are Toyotas? What are you doing, little ninja?
It won't be with you.
I'm just ranting at the camera.
I must be in the background.
You're in the background?
I guess so.
What's up, guys?
Coming in to get changed.
Coming to get changed? Figured while I had time.
Ha ha ha, joke's on you. For you have no
I
time.
know, normally you guys are in the pool a lot longer.
I don't want to wear him out before
Fair enough.
we're doing that kind of a walk. Plus, I figured we may likely end up back in the pool afterwards to cool off again.
Probably. It's not too bad out there.
Although
though.
I don't think the rides are waiting until 2 today.
No? Oh yeah, maybe it's noon today. Why, did you hear the honking horn thing?
Yeah, horns, music.
Okay, they're probably open then. Okay. And yeah, gosh, what's in my eye? Okay.
Mommy, what lights were you talking about?
The car. Our car at the beginning. Talking about the car.
Like at a parade, what? But why you were talking about?
You look like you have bruises because of all the yellow on your face.
That's why you want me to go on yellow face ride?
No. What ride?
Like on a fair. What ride do you want to go?
You'll see.
Just tell
I
me.
think you'll enjoy it. There's a bouncy thing at the fair.
A bouncy house?
Yeah, like it's a trampoline that they strap you into,
Uh-huh.
and you get to jump around and you could do flips because you're gonna be strapped in. It should be fun. Why don't you go downstairs for 2 minutes? I'm almost done. I promise. I love you.
Mommy told me why there's a
I'm
bouncy-
almost done.
There's a bouncy thing at a fair.
Anything else we need to say, buddy?
I'm just starting to talk. I was thinking at Bouncy Monkeys there was actually going to be trampolines and also other bouncy stuff. But
We're
my
not going to
parents
Bouncing Monkeys, buddy. I think we're going to Kids Kingdom, which is something similar to Bouncing Monkeys. Yeah. So,
Can you get the camera out of my face?
sorry.
You want
I think that's good enough. Okay.